All right. Hope you guys have had just a good morning, man. We feeling good over here. We're grateful, blessed, intentional. Appreciate every single one of you. Grateful for Nancy, who is currently making me a coffee. All right, let's get this going. What do we got, guys? What do we got today? What's on the market? What are we looking at? What are we seeing here? Camera going. Okay, here we go. Sweet. All right, y'all. Hope y'all are feeling good. Woke up ready to take on the day. We got some unemployment claims that went through. We got a little more. All right, let's get into it, guys. Screen share is on. Well, almost. Now we're good. All right, so we're here. We're dialed in. The poster link sends me to an old stream. I think people are waiting there. Oh, oops. That's my bad. All right, one sec. I really need to get a new cable. Okay, I think you guys can now hear me. Okay. So if you guys missed yesterday night's training, Nance is going to be posting the recording of that here. Today we have a massive announcement, so you guys will get an email from us, or you'll see a post in the school community. Wow, I said new link and then I just didn't drop the link. That's hilarious. All right. Y'all ready for this session or what? I want to give another huge shout to the boy Harshi. Got funded. Come on. All right. So, I'm looking at, let's see, are we good? Yes, we're good. So, let's kick things off with indices here. As you guys are probably seeing, Dow is sitting at the zone that we wanted to trade in yesterday, right? Meanwhile, we're getting potential ideas with NQ, which had just a very, very aggressive pump, and then followed by a pretty decent sell-off. Not quite getting a break of structure or anything, kind of just trading into the same structure before reversing. But I'm sure, as you guys are noticing, Dow has just been so bullish, like during London session. So I'm curious if we're going to end up getting a sell with Dow out of this zone or not. I mean, I kind of clocked it as this big move, 269 points. Yesterday, we started to get this rejection. Not quite for that same amount, but obviously we got a semi-decent rejection here. So unless I'm measuring this incorrectly, which I don't really think I am, the move, it didn't quite do the thing. So technically this is valid. The downside of this though is that, so okay, if we're looking at the 15-minute, obviously we're seeing Dow is trading towards an 886 here, or beyond an 886. So this is divergent. Higher time frames, Dow is definitely divergent. So you have like this still sitting below these highs. However, when we're looking at how prices traded since the new day, well, NQ and S&P's price action is definitely not as bullish, not even close. So could go either way. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to, since we're diverging on a lower time frame here, I'm going to take a position on Dow right now. I'm going to take but I'm only going to take this with less risk. So I'm going to actually approach this with less risk, and I'm going to target these lows here. So still, in my opinion, a good trade. And we're looking at, for me, half of a risk would be 250, 300. So we'll go one more unit. So we're in there. It's a half risk position. Actually, you know what? Hold on, guys. I was playing around with some accounts yesterday. This might not be the leader. Always got to double check, and it's definitely not. Okay. So now, got to go over here. Thank you guys for the patience. Got to go over here. Got to go over here. So yeah, make sure you're logged into what you need to be logged into. Okay. All right, now switch it up. Okay, here we go. All right, so maybe even get an even better entry, or it's going to end up just having the same results anyways. So let's see. Create new limit. It's going to be, I'm going to market order this guy. 8 units. Stops right here. That's cool. Okay. Okay. So good to go on this. And then the other perspective is what's already been pretty bearish, which is NASDAQ. So obviously on open, things can kind of shift and change. But we have one Tokyo highs that haven't been taken out. So I think we might get a little bit of a pump. I feel like we might get one of those flip-flops in price action when you see Dow drop and NQ go up, or vice versa. So we'll see, right? And then we have this gap. So I think NQ can take out these highs and then drop. Here, if you're looking at where things got relatively interesting, NASDAQ takes out these highs. So it takes out a lot of movement over here and then finally drops back into the zone. So a type of shakeout, I guess you could say, is kind of building out. But typically I want to see this come into this zone and then pull back and look for an entry. So this is definitely a smart money buy right here. And then, what's going on over here? One second, guys. Okay, I gotta log out of this thing. My accounts are a mess right now. I totally forgot I was playing around with the copy trader. Okay, here we go. All right. So, yeah, I think we could clear these highs. From there, see a sell-off. I could see it. I feel like we haven't quite mitigated this big buy position. So we haven't quite seen a reversal there. So, I mean, I think there's some potential here. This is not like, if I'm looking at structure, we're looking at higher highs. So let me just delete this. This already went down. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. You don't quite get the break below, but you do get liquidity building up right over here. So I'm not fully convicted on this short quite yet. Maybe we clear the lows and then make a move. So I guess we'll see. All right, now here's New York Open, guys. And as we're seeing so far, big rip down. So that's a good sign, right? That's what we want to see. Big push down. Let's see if we can get further movement. Obviously, this is just kind of the beginning. So either it's going to push down just for one mellow movement, or we're going to continue to rally to the downside. Obviously, we're looking for quite a big move here. Like a complete retracement. Meanwhile, though, the winner was, or is at the moment, NASDAQ and S&P still moving lower. So if you took some sort of mitigation trade out of here, maybe you didn't wait for the gap to get filled. Looks like the drops on NQ and S&P are playing out really nicely. Here with Dow, it's fighting for its life to stay up here. So typically, I don't really expect too much out of this trade. If anything, I'm imagining this is going to end up as a loss, and I'm prepared for a loss with this idea. Now, if it wants to give us a trade, dude, I'm stoked, but not really counting on it per se. I'll take what I can get. Meanwhile, what could be forming, and as we're seeing a bit more movement, I want to see NQ take out liquidity here, whether it's Tokyo lows or New York lows. And despite this not filling this gap quite yet, if we are to get just solid structure, like if we just hold demand, if we trade super bearish, there is a chance that we can get a sell up from up here. So I'm keeping that in mind as well. So watch how now, after we had this sweep of this low, NQ started to push up a bit, as did S&P. Dow still kind of holding up barely, just barely. I think this should be game over here soon now. Yeah, that's about it. So not a big deal. Had a feeling this one wasn't going to play out for Dow. So I'm not really too concerned. Where are we over here? Okay. So that's all good. So I went with less risk on this idea. Yesterday, I ended up playing out of buys on indices. So I actually ended up taking, where was it? I ended up buying indices. Like it was like a shakeout setup that we got, basically. Where were we? We had a clean liquidity capture here with, it was, I think, Dow. Dow swept, and then I ended up trading it upwards. And then you got a secondary entry. Oh, here it was. Little sweep. Dow started to go bullish, so we went for that. But anyways, right now, as we zoom out, took a small loss. Remember, you can't be too upset, can't take one trade kind of too personal. If you get new opportunities, if you get new data, then you got to be able to respond to whatever you're getting now. So from here, now if you guys notice, we've officially taken out Monday's high, Friday's highs, Wednesday traded into some of this imbalance. So now we've seen a clear sweep of liquidity here with Dow, S&P, and NQ still bearish. So this just goes to show the importance of price action in real time. Like I mentioned, when we were trading right before New York Open. I would have taken a sell had we pushed just a little higher, taken out Tokyo highs, and gotten into this gap. But apparently we're not getting that. So from here, now we're seeing NASDAQ take out Tokyo lows. S&P splitting kind of the middle between Dow and NQ. So S&P has swept London. And what I want to see from NASDAQ now, if we're going to get an opportunity, I want to see it come up to here. Ooh, and that's Nvidia hitting, I believe it was a mitigation zone we had from yesterday. Perfect. So check this out. I marked this up yesterday. I don't know why the rectangle isn't there, but we had a liquidity sweep on Nvidia before a continuation. So over here, I do believe we can start seeing reversals. Nvidia accounts for like, I think 16 or 18% of NASDAQ. So this mitigating can definitely drive some momentum for NASDAQ. I don't know whether they're charged. Maybe. So, yeah. Yeah, it's key. It's a key indicator right now. So I'm actually I have another alert. So we might go a little bit deeper. But if you guys ever wanted to just kind of have extra detail, you can start to interpret some of the key players. So like, for example, yesterday, Nvidia had earnings report, and it created a little bit of movement. But it looks like things are coming into play today. And now we're starting to fill this imbalance a bit better. See, we're kind of getting deeper into this imbalance fill. If I were to pull up, so you can see how we've pulled into the zone now, playing this last levels of support over here. Honestly, if you are that, what's the word I'm looking for? Like if you're feeling it, if you want to use correlation, at this point, I believe that you could be taking positions with indices and, catching a play from here, I think would make sense. So obviously personal opinion, personal approach, but now it's rebalanced into these order blocks. Nvidia is ready to mitigate. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start to eat this up. And then from here though, let's say you're like, I don't really want to take on a trade so low, right? Trading these imbalances, order blocks. Let's say that's not something you're looking to do. Well, don't you worry, because you can just wait. You can wait a little bit longer. Obviously, there's no guarantees, but you can start seeing a shift in momentum. Let the market prove a lack of demand and put you into a better trading environment overall. So there's never a rush. I'm just putting into perspective a couple different points of alignment that we're seeing right here. So, seeing the fact that we're seeing like Nvidia was in that mitigation moment in the exact timing of imbalance, order block, Tokyo low liquidations. It's like, how many signs do you kind of need to see before you can catch a reversal? So like, for example, I took a buy here on with evals. So I'm cool with that. Like, I'm like, all right, because I've seen these trades play out. And I'm in the middle of building a case study around things like this. Obviously, we have Dow that has a more bullish momentum, but even then, it's very slow, very choppy, and and Dow hasn't swept any sorts of liquidity, so it's kind of running dry on ammo, in my opinion. Whereas now, it's like here's how I think about the market. I don't know if people teach it like this, but I think about this when liquidity is accumulated. So like where, whether it's a bunch of support, a bunch of resistance, trendline liquidity, or you have session lows, session highs, but all of that is basically ammo. It's ammunition for orders, for high-end, for institutions to be able to inject money into the market. So when we have liquidations like we saw just now with NQ or S&P, and then it's in key zones, key trading areas, at these moments, and I'm comparing this to like Dow. So Dow was pushing, but like there was no fuel, if you will, right? There was no I guess that's the best way to put it. Like there's really no fuel there. So what's going to keep driving it further? Is there further incentive over here? Whereas right now I'm looking at Dow, Dow, and the incentive for here, from what I'm seeing, thank you, is it kind of came into this order block where it could sell from. Sure, it liquidated these highs, so they kind of have different sources of liquidity. You have Dow taking out retail sellers, so you got all of this happening. Look at this, just tons of liquidity, tons of it. And then it trades right into here. So maybe some of you took this little pump and short from there. So there's one version of this. The other side of the story, this is why S&P is kind of like back and forth and it doesn't know what to do with itself. Because here, Dow is going up and Q is going kind of down. So S&P is splitting the middle. And from here, really, all right, from here, honestly, once we sweep Tokyo lows, I wonder if this is going to kind of finalize its movement and then carry on. So I took a position here. As of now, is this creating a shakeout setup? Very briefly, I'd say maybe we push a little higher and make one more leg down. So if you're waiting for further confirmations, so look at the difference. Dow down and Q up, S&P conflicted. Need some water. 1 second, y'all. Okay. Here we go. S&P starting to clear the low. Excellent. What are we seeing from NQ? Chilling. All right. So look at S&P now fully liquidating. Here we go. Trading down to price action. This is Wednesday's New York low, New York open. So we got a lot of traffic over here, if you will. Okay, nice. This is taking Dow to trade into New York open. So here we had the sweep of the low, right? Sweep of the low here. And then from here, is this enough time to go bullish on Dow? What do you guys think? Sweeps doesn't really take out much. So would I be counting on buying Dow? I wouldn't take a trade. Maybe you see clear liquidity and then a reversal, but I wouldn't position myself here yet. If anything, we're kind of seeing potential signs of what, guys? If we zoom out to the 1 hour here, mistakes were made somewhere. Here we go. So if we look at this from this point of view, or my bad, here we go. Clearly, we sweep tons of liquidity, eats it right back up. So it comes right into the zone. So now if we were to get pullbacks with Dow, let's say we kind of hold this structure here with Dow, we trade here for a bit, then I'm very much open to selling the Dow Jones up here. But first, we're gonna have to kind of build some sort of demand down here. See, like, okay, oh, these highs were not really intentional. There wasn't really to establish structure. This was just to liquidate. At least that's how I'm seeing this right now. What do you guys think? How are you perceiving the market from where we're at right now? Also, if there's any other ideas you guys like, let me know. Let me know what you're thinking. What's up? What's up? Higher time frame, sweep. No. Distribution. Where do you place your stop loss, bro, in these cases where you're buying in imbalances? Stop loss? Oh, what's that? What's the stop loss? I heard you can't lose if you don't use one. I'll typically place it below like order blocks. So, for example, NQ here. I will show you. So here you see how we got all of this order blocks in these situations. Like you just see the market was trying to reverse, just luring in sellers, but then it just kept going. So like right down here, I'll place my stop below this. So at 25.20, like 7. So this is, excuse me. It's starting to give that kind of, it's kind of rounding out, slowing down. So this is kind of like what I want to see before the market comes back up and then sells off again. So I'm kind of liking this. I'm liking what we got going on over here. Cool. All right. I want to see this stay here a little bit longer, though. I'm curious how, I don't really like margin trade stocks, but I'm curious to see what did this end up doing. So, oh, here we go. So now we're in the zone for Nvidia. And you can even do this if you wanted to be a little bit more specific. You could use this zone to know your stop. So like, let's say only once Nvidia were to break this low, would you just kind of take your loss on that trade? It's one way to approach it. Obviously, it's not the only way, but this is just using, again, same thing, correlate. Like these are correlated assets. So just having these lined up could be useful. What do you guys think? Is this going to hold or nah? Playing into this last zone. This is where we had a little bit of demand over here. Some reversal zones. But obviously, I would say, guys, like I wouldn't really be using all of this right now for, like, if you've never taken, if there's ideas or trading models that you just don't have experience with, like don't take them to your live accounts. Don't take them to your real money. Like use your demo or use something that's low friction, low barrier for you, so that you can continue to make what's the word I'm looking for? Just conscious decisions. You're not trading out of desperation. You're not trading out of just any wrong place. You want to be operating from a place where you feel knowledgeable, it's system oriented, process based. That's what's going to lead you to results. Obviously, you can make fine tuning and tweaks and things that will give you an edge later on. But for now, like you have something, whether you're tracking and documenting, like use that, but for like have its own place for that, Okay, so we've been chilling down here for the last 8-9 minutes or so. I like the sells here now. So I'm liking what we're seeing over here. Let's where are you, trade sinker? Okay. Just double checking some connections over here. Okay. So at this point, yeah, man, I want to see us get over to here, and then the entry would be honestly just kind of trading into here. It doesn't really need to be too high, like just right over here, stops over here, and then we can catch a nice move down. And there's a lot of incentive here for Dow, like quite a bit. Just the 1 minute structure, just liquid, even just taking out these New York lows puts you at a 2R. And it just obviously depends on where in the zone you want to take your position. If I zoom out a bit, you can kind of get a better idea. So like, I wouldn't trade over here. So like right over here, we've seen some support in the past. Resistance right around 49, 820, 818. The one thing that I don't love about Dow and shorting here, so what's kind of throwing me off a little bit, is that S&P and NQ just aren't really reversing. Like they're also still pretty bearish. So these are, this has been consolidating down here, but not really like, and this is starting to pull up a little bit, whereas S&P and NQ are just going lower and lower and lower. So we're not really seeing, and I would actually prefer if NQ started to rip higher. Yeah, so if NASDAQ started to rip before Dow, I would feel a lot better about shorting. But now, again, in real-time price action, we're definitely in an environment where, like, Dow is just trading higher first. So shakeout looks good. Price action, not so much. So, here I am, conflicted. Where can this be going to? So NQ looks like it's still fulfilling more of the imbalance over here. Let's see if Nvidia. This is still holding the zone. So look at how this is still holding structure. So some sort of reversals, I'm sure, are incoming then. And this would be a pretty big mitigation. So you could probably see a pretty big reversal out of here. Now let me, out of curiosity, Let's see who's gonna get this right. What has the most weight, if you will, in Dow Jones? Who knows? What has the most weight with the Dow? Like, what influences price? And actually, who could tell me what, like, how is the Dow created? Like, what influences what, like, for example, is it based off of market cap? Is it based off of something else? Like, you guys know what you're trading? Later. Diego, es un shakeout, una idea. Do I have a video somewhere? Goldman Sachs. Yeah. Logs on the chat GPT real quick. It is the 30 biggest companies, but which ones? Which ones, guys? Which ones? So yeah, it is Goldman Sachs, and it's based off of price. So it's weird. It doesn't really make any sense. Dow is like kind of backwards. It actually really doesn't make any sense. Huh? Yeah. To me, market cap, like the weight of your market cap should influence everything. But Dow is based off of price. So for example, Goldman Sachs is just priced high, super high. So for whatever reason, that's what's going to influence it the most. I think then it's like Caterpillar and then Microsoft. What about it? It also is like a big player. Is it? UNH? Yeah, it's at a really good place. Oh, okay, interesting. So, yeah, just a fun fact. If you guys are ever like, I wonder what, if you want some extra variables. So, for example, like we can take a look at it right now. Goldman Sachs. So, what it do here? Oh, look at that. It looks pretty similar. Is there a setup here by any means? I wouldn't go as far to say that there's a setup. But anyways, you see, it was similar, trading pretty similar. I would say that here, though. So you did get the mitigation. So look at, how we tried shorting? This actually mitigated already earlier. So this is a sign for sure. It's basically dropped into here before continuing. So now it's taking out the lows, coming back in. Could make a difference. So that's, Goldman Sachs. You can take a look at Caterpillar. This thing is dumping. Jesus. Tanking. Distribution. You're done. Yeah, anyway, just some fun facts. Fun facts for all y'all. So right now, looks like instead of dropping higher, it's just pushing lower and lower and lower. But now, I see this is maybe helping our case here. Now we're starting to break below, starting to see a shift in structure, while this is dropping a bit more aggressively than NASDAQ. So on the way up, let's say NQ starts to build up some momentum, playing out of whatever order block and structure. So let's say that's going to be the case, which I don't know if it's going to be, but let's just say it is, right? If we start to pick up some pace, maybe trade into this imbalance here somewhere, and then Q starts leading the move, then I feel a lot more confident about the sells here with Dow. So we'll give it some time. I didn't even say what up in the chat. My bad, y'all. Here, I'm just disrespectful. Sup, Caius, Harshi, congrats, man. Carlos, what's good? Xavier, I saw your, my bad, bro. I didn't respond to you. I did see your message. So you're good, Xavier. You locked in that account. What's up, Corey, Karen, Amy, morning, Edwin, Seth, Patrick, Vaughn, buenos dias, Lil Janko. What's up, Rafa, Daniel, Evan, morning, man, Kevin, Jalaya. Sup, Nick, Sen, Austin, Kanzala, Shelby, everyone, full house today. Coffee. Actually, I need to get to this coffee. Thanks for the reminder. I drank way too much. Okay. Much love, much love. Who doesn't trade futures? Who doesn't trade futures? He's probably gone, this guy. I don't know. Just copped Nvidia. Nice. Silver's on 886. I haven't had issues with TradingView. Metals shakeout. All right, let's get over there. Seems like. Did I miss the party on metals already, or what's up? What's good? What's good? Okay, great. This is what I wanted to see. Beautiful, beautiful. Excellent liquidations of Tokyo and New York lows. I mean, how often do you just see this over and over and over again? So we love to see it. From here, let me look at gold. This looks pretty tight. Pretty tight over there. Okay, interesting. Taking out Tokyo lows, New York lows. Whereas silver swept as well. Silver silver has been more bearish over the night. Here. And then this thing just ate this up. So it's cutting it pretty close, but I don't think it's impossible. Okay, meanwhile, we have this setup here, my bad, I was a little distracted. Clears liquidity. We break above these highs. I wish I wouldn't have done that, to be honest, because now it doesn't really prove it's bullish, so it tries to get above the highs, fails. So it tries to get up above this, doesn't quite do it. Again, it doesn't quite do it. So this is creating, it's just kind of showing us signs that the market isn't really committed, that there aren't buyers, there's not a lot of demand for buys at these prices. So I don't love buying when that happens, because it's showing me that there's just not enough demand here. Obviously, yes, we took out a ton of liquidity here, but yeah, unless we come back, let's say if we go back up here and we get something like this, then all right, cool. I'm with that. Same thing. Yeah, so let's kind of wait and see. I want to see if we break above here, and then we can then we'll end up getting a mitigation setup. So that's kind of more of what I want to see right now. All right, so stay tuned on that. Meanwhile, Dow clearing the low over here. All right, so sweeping this low. Structure-wise, I feel like we're looking pretty good here. So the short is honestly looking better and better. We'll keep an eye out on how price action kind of continues from here. But it's not too bad. in Q or S&P here. Let's see. S&P gets below New York lows. Now sweeps liquidity there. Very nice. As does NASDAQ. So rebalances, takes out New York lows, then starts to mitigate. Let's see, just for more knowledge here, Nvidia still holding. Nvidia still holding in this zone. So a reaction out of here looks good. I have a 4-hour low down here, but this is just for like day trading purposes, what I'm talking about right now with Nvidia. So this right here looks like it might hold up. So if you were trading like options or something like that, or I know that stocks are coming to futures trading, this could be like something for the future, like if you're wanting to prepare for something like that. So actually, let's see. All right. Moving on. Looking at majors, so now we're looking at currencies. So looking at some currencies here. I see some opportunity. I don't know if you guys see this too, but we traded basically almost a full day above these previous highs, and we're kind of working our way lower. So looking at Australian over here, Australian has a pretty nice move over here. We see a nice clean push down. This takes out tons of liquidity Friday, price action, Monday, and then this is happening during Tuesday's New York session. From here, we start to make some moves. So yeah, I mean, Australian holding up much better. NZD here, working its way down a little bit more quickly. We saw Euro mitigate this. I don't know if anyone sold here yesterday, last night. Kind of a weird time, but the short played out really nicely. I know CAD mitigated out of here as well. Yen still has to climb a bit higher, so yen still very bearish. And then GBP being able to reject this zone here and then trading into imbalance looks pretty solid. So overall, I mean, market's trading nicely. I would kind of stay out of Swiss right now. It seems like a lot of liquidity is building up here, so I'm not really looking to buy anything there or sell anything with Swiss. Typically not one that I like to trade anyways. GBP also lots of liquidity across the board here. And then there is that similar movement, or actually no, this is different. But we do see like a nice little sweep down before it rallied. So if you're looking at potential buys, yeah, not really too convinced on buying anything other than Australian, honestly. It has just a nice push down. And then the real last push down is like down here. Like you get that one last leg down. So I feel like an entry right here looks pretty smooth. Here we go. And yeah, this looks, I like what we got here. Would I take it that high though? Because we obviously have this lower zone as well. So do I want to count on the market going that far? Honestly, I don't. So I would take more of an intraday exit, maybe to our minimum. We'll kind of see what price action looks like as we get further down to this zone. But yeah, this is my take on 6A AUD. What's today? February 26th. Dude, how is it that we're like 2 months into this year already? I feel like it literally just started. For okay, there you go. So that's basically majors, just quickly flying through that. So take a look back at what are indices doing. Dow is still dumping. We got in just a little too early, my friends. Just a little too early. I wasn't ready. Meanwhile, we've seen liquidation from S&P, right? S&P we saw now clear New York, Tokyo lows. So as far as drops go, this is a very good drop. From here, can things start to turn around? I feel like we're not getting enough evidence for an entry. I'm sure like the reversal is coming soon, and maybe it's even coming now. But this taking out New York low, coming back in, ranging like this, it's a very, very tight window. So it's sort of like a shakeout. I'd say this is a high risk one though. Like, or maybe I feel like it's the risk of loss is higher than usual. So it's like a lower probability setup. That's how I would want to prefer to say it actually. It's a lower probability setup here. The squeeze is usually good because you can give a good breakout. So considering the context, right, again, clearing basically all the lows of the previous day and then now quickly losing momentum, it could be setting up. And Q also doing the same, which is clearing London, Tokyo, New York lows, the trifecta, and then playing into, you could argue this is kind of like a mitigation setup here from Wednesday pre-New York Open, because now it's like in that pocket, and then could it rip from here? Maybe. Is it worth your money is the question. Is there enough proof that like that's going to play out for you? So that's where I like to come from. Like, is there enough evidence that this is profitable over time? Or do I just feel like kind of making some money back, hoping that things are going to go my way? What's it going to be? So right now, when we see, for example, the markets take out lows, we're seeing, Dow clears some liquidity here, trades into the zone, but I mean, what is this? What is this? Is there a lot of liquidity here? I mean, kind of. Like, sure, we take out a few hours worth, but when you see like sweeps of liquidity, you're only going to get a reversal if it's enough, if it's enough liquidity. So otherwise, it doesn't really matter. So at this point, like, you can't, just because you get one big sweep and it reverses right away, like, you can't go buying every single time that happens. That's going to ruin you. So the idea really is like, wait for the key zones, wait for the market to truly show you that that's not the point of the movement. So like, for example, right now, Dow, if Dow is going to be the one that gives us a buying opportunity, honestly, like, right now we're trading into New York highs, clearing, whatever this 7 a.m. Post unemployment claims. So like, if anything is going to give you the buy, it's probably going to be Dow, since it's not dropping anywhere near as much as the other indices. But you have to have enough context. Otherwise, you're just buying because you're just like, well, it's got to stop dropping eventually, right? That's not going to work long term. So, for example, here, looking at price and just key movement, The last push down we got was right here. Big sweep for New York lows, and then we came back in quickly before continuing. So you have a possible mitigation here. Right there. Maybe not. This already tapped into this, so okay, that looks pretty efficient. Overall, actually, this looks pretty efficient. You have this London low. So if you look over here, London sweeps Tokyo low just a little bit. Pulls back in. So this is all good retracements, healthy moves. Same thing goes here. And then you see this is the last push down. So remember, think about how the market is playing out beforehand. So actually, let me just exit this real quick. NQ. So here's now where I could see some reversals. Dow trades into this last sell-off before everything. At the same time, now we're seeing NQ clear and trade into this zone. Right? I think I just had this marked up now. All right, apparently it's not here. Anyways, so you have this. I wouldn't buy this one since this is the most bearish, but you do see Dow trading into this zone. So not quite a a low, but this is a last sell-off before a reversal. So tackling this off here, right? This is your sell-off, and then the market is enticed and then rips. So I think there's potential for a play here. Not a full risk idea for me. Something that I think we could take on with less risk. So this is kind of like a half risk trade. Trading into this order block here. Typically, these I like to only really do with evals as like I just build a stronger and stronger case. Like I have a very selective approach, excuse me, to how I manage like the live capital. That's only setups that I know are proven for me. Otherwise, like I'm just not really gonna take these positions. So, but what I wanted to see before taking something like this, again, I want to see other key factors. Like I want to see other key levels be swept. So, for example, if we have here we go. So you see how NAS is about to clear these lows. Man, I would have loved to be in the sell. I'm sure all of us would have. But look at how right now NQ is doing this. This was all of Tuesday's New York session and Asian session. So this is a high. This is a lot of money sitting right here for buys. A lot. So wait a little bit longer. Wait for this to get taken out. Wait for this to get taken out. See if that matches up with the setup. So like, for example, S&P here. So let me delete this. S&P has a very big sell right there. And then the market makes its move. Okay, cool. Let's see. Boom. Okay, NQ sweeping liquidity. Perfect. Where is that taking everything else? S&P, deep trade. Is it worth it there? So S&P giving you a potential idea here. Obviously, S&P is still more bearish than what? S&P is more bearish than Dow. So Dow, now where would Dow have tons of liquidity still? Where would that be? Right here. So either Dow respects this zone and mitigates out of here, which I think is possible. Right here. So now everything's lining up. So you can trade right into this open again. I am down for this position. So I'm trading this half risk, mitigation off of here, and then this is now an alignment with, S&P clearing this out, NASDAQ clearing that out. So this is the position that I'm taking. And actually, I want to go 3/4 risk here. So add another 120. Hey. What the dude, what is happening here? Oh, my Atlanta. All right. There we go. So it looked like I literally just pushed that. That was wild. As soon as I took my second, the added risk, it literally looked like I pushed it. So look, now you're getting the rejection. So what can you do here? You can start to reduce risk. That's what I'm doing. So reducing risk here. So we're good there. And then now we're going to let this thing ride. And at this point, now I'm at reduced. I moved my stop because we already got this rejection, big rejection. I don't overcommit to the idea. Money came in to reverse. Then if this is going to play out, it's going to play out. And if it's not, it's not. It trades right into this little mini order block before pulling back again. And then looks like, nope. So that was it. Tiny loss again. I'm cool with that. So that's why I was worth it, because if it runs, then catching a huge one. Now, all right, now we have the overall structure, this entire move here. So now, obviously, we're in position where you have Thursday, February 24th, or Tuesday, February 24th over here. So you have these zones lined up. So this is so you just understand the context of the entire market. You want to keep that in mind as well. And then right now we're trading towards, so this is the other zone. If we're going to go all the way down to this entire structure, beautiful. Have the lower zone. If we're going to trade this last sell-off, then you have that too, which I'm okay with trading this as well. I know my risk reward here. So in here, again, I'm willing to take my position. We're sitting right around, here we go. I'm just going to market execute here. And then you go from here. Bigger zone, so it needs bigger moves. So if this sell-off is 90 points, I need to see a 90-point reversal out of here. A 90-point reversal, then honestly just playing into here. Then that'll put me, I'll reduce my stop again. So as you guys can see, I'm not really cool loss, reduced loss, doesn't really matter to me. Right now, collectively, I've lost a 1R after taking 2 shots at the market. And that's the power of reducing risk or understanding the what's the word I'm looking for? The value of the position that you're taking. How good of a position is it? So here, I'm aware that we're in the middle of this range of this structure here. Also, this failed to take out, so we didn't quite go bullish on the 15-minute. We actually lost that momentum. So that's why I'm now basically seeing, are we going to eat up the lows that we just took out and come back in, or are we going to just trade upwards to here, bounce really quick, and then keep working our way further down? So if that's the case, then that's okay. So I'm prepared for either option. I like to put myself in position because you just don't always know the intention of the move right away. And I'm just committed to what the loss could be. Meanwhile, we got S&P trading within this imbalance. So we got that going on right there. You have NQ, right? Clear sweep of tons of liquidity. And then actively in this order block right there. So could that be of any use? Maybe. Order block rejection aligned with Dow mitigation. Definitely possible. And Dow is trading way up here. So right now, S&P and NQ are trading, deep in the retracement. So for example, if you were to look at the overall chart, big picture here, a little bit more macro. S&P towards a 70% pullback, and Q here looking at below, it went about a 75% pullback. And then Dow, on the other hand, Dow is sitting at hold on, I need to change where I put this from. Discard. I'm just going to delete this. So just look at the difference. Here's the low on Dow. Dow is trading way over here. Barely at a 50% pullback. So rebalancing pretty well. Okay. So just to give you guys quick confirmation. Obviously, I'm moving like this right now because there's a lot happening. And just giving you an insight, at least to how I think. Obviously, you guys don't have to think like this. But the push down here was about 94 points. Right now, we're starting to see a pretty nice rejection. Almost those 90 and change. So, like, honestly, like right here. Rejected about 78 points. Can it go higher? Decent reversal right away. Not a whole bunch, though. Not enough for me to move my stops quite yet. So let's say this gets stopped out. If I get stopped out here, this will be a full 1 hour loss. But if that doesn't hold, then I'm basically just waiting. I'm waiting all the way to this zone way down here. Because at this point, unless like we, let's say, pull from here. Actually, there's one more. But if we were to actually, hold on, let me look at YM. It's funny because it's like Dow has a whole bunch of like reversal zones before the bottom, the extreme. So here's another one, for example. You have a nice little push down before the reversal right here. So you got this one too. And I would probably look to take it around here. So here's the thing, like I'm like you guys, I'll keep shooting. That's not really a problem. One dub, you get it back. Especially if you have a massive move like the one we got today, you get like big ones. It'll rebalance pretty well typically. So there's a couple left here. So I got this one, something like this, right over here as well. And then this entry would be a bit different. All right, so we're now doing the thing again, starting to reverse some more. So let's say this one just breaks below. My next shot would be like right over here. The divergence is really impressive though right now. Very different. All of Tuesday's like we were trading into Tuesday's was it news or something? Well, post New York Open, like right after New York Open. Meanwhile, Dow's like, nah, we're gonna hold up here pretty decent. So looking at Dow is about to give that full push. So from this low over to here, that would be the mitigation. So the reversal amount that I need, basically the exchange from sellers to buyers. So it looks like the buys are basically finally kicking in completely. You know, it gave us about a 90, 91 point move. So at this point, now I'm going to tighten up my stop. And so if this isn't enough, cool, pull back. Now, worst case, my loss again looks like it's a little over a half hour. If this were to just lose steam and just, you know, crash back down, then cool. So now basically I'm averaging on a lot of these attempts, instead of a full loss, I'm averaging like a half loss. So then if a winner comes in, I don't, let's say like, for example, like if I've lost 2 or 3 trades, but they were all half losses, then, you know, it's like losing really in reality, like 1.5 trade. So if a full win goes and hits 3R, 4R, you're making back a lot more. So being able, like your trade management rules, your trade management system, that's going to be a key way for you to climb out, like be able to take, you know, shots at the market. And when the winner comes, you have a much better reward system. You have, you know, you're climbing out of drawdown a lot more effectively. And so some of you right now, you might just be building out, like being able to get feedback on your trade management, having an actual like diligent process on what that looks like and how to do that. So if that's something that you're looking to, like if you're someone who you're close, but you feel like you need more feedback on different elements of your system, then this is my invitation to you to join our syndicate program for sure. So check it out. If you want to be able to, you know, confidently, without really any stress, be able to take that on, then yeah, check it out. There's a link. Like the odd trade. That's why I favor higher time for correlation. Yeah, for sure. TP 1 to 3 on oil. Nice. I missed it. I just didn't look at oil. Well done. took silver shakeout. I think based off of what I was saying, there wasn't really a silver trade for me. Yeah, and like I said, I think you guys are maybe just don't want to listen. But when these break the highs, this is the liquid, this is what captures liquidity. So once this starts to break these highs, this is showing you that the market doesn't want to trade higher. That it tried to, it takes out some of these retail sellers, but then it pulls down. So I feel like don't be too anxious to be in the market. Like, yes, you get a big wick, but now it's happened to you once, twice, 3 times. Not you, like one of you, but like if you get too excited, like here, I'll just show you the failing, right? This sweeps London lows, comes back in, breaks the high of that where smart money comes in, breaks that high. So this fails to make highs now. It fails to create bullish demand. So this is showing you not yet. And then it, dumps down. Same thing happens here. Not yet. Same thing happens here. So now we've worked our way over to here. We've traded. We took this low out. Okay, great. Now we could cool. We're taking out liquidity. Bello. The market here can work its way into the sell-off, which we're doing right now. Silver's doing that right now. Here's where it sold off, right? So either it chops up in here, gives you the entry, or you need it to break, confirm structure, and then you're good. Same thing. So gold, for example, this would no longer be a shakeout because it already broke above where it sold off from. Now you want this to create bullish structure. You want this without transform. When the shakeout fails, it has potential to become a mitigation setup. Now, let me quickly just get back to Dow. So Dow right now gave us another push higher after all of this. So price action looks really nice. Things are trading upwards nicely. Here is a low, higher high, higher lows, higher highs. So 15-second. I'm scaling a little bit more. So now my stop is no longer what it used to be. Now it's become a 40-point stop when originally this trade was a 80-point stop. So now I'm at a half R for sure on this idea. And then this is coming to key reversal point. So right here, right where we're at, where we're about to be at, this is where I could see the market start to reverse. So it might lose some steam, where you have those previous strong levels of London and Tokyo lows. So honestly, with the way this is moving, I'm actually going to move my stop up even more right into here. And then now, very small stop. So this is we're almost at a 1R here on this idea. And then we're starting to fly, playing into this order block right here, okay? And I honestly here for this trade, trading into this imbalance is what I'm more so aiming for. So like a 3, actually. See, I ended up getting triggered in higher than I wanted to. Whatever, 2.5R. This puts us profitable on the day. And the nice thing is Dow is ripping. So it's trading a lot more aggressively to the upside compared to S&P, compared to NQ. NQ has a whole bunch of imbalance to fill still. So whether it's going to slow down trading into these key levels, so we could actually, be ready for that. Maybe it hits the floor here or hits a ceiling here and wants to reverse. Otherwise, this is like where I think the market was going to want to push towards, closer to here in this imbalance. And that definitely could carry Dow even further to the upside. So anyone take this Dow trade with me, I know we had a lot going on, different opportunities. I tried explaining everything as fast as I possibly could while managing multiple accounts and, doing everything that we're doing. Syndicate is fire. Yeah. Well, since I got clapped on still, I was able to make an amazing entry in YM. Hey, there we go. I did. Nice, Vaughn. What's up, Mafia Penguins? You're in. DeAndre's in. Rafa's in. Seth's in. Blipped is in. Amy's in. Nick's in. Carlos is in. Ruben's in. All right, we got 3, 6, 8, at least 8 of you, 10% of you taking action, making decisions, understanding why you're taking the trades that you're taking. Most importantly, oil shakeout is beautiful. Corey's in. I love it. Got in the sell in YM. Did you take that? It be the ones closest to y'all, fam. It be the ones closest to you. Hey, you know what? At least you got gains in other ways. So hopefully the bagel, was it a bagel? Yeah, a bagel. Hopefully the bagel's worth it. Right now, guys, I'm at like 38 hours fasted. I would say technically 38 hours. I had one shake that interfered when I started, so I'm counting it from that shake. But if it wasn't for that, then we'd be at almost 48 hours fasted. So the coffee definitely works better when you haven't had food in your system for a while. Are you still willing to take the lower buy on YM? Yeah, I mean, if it gets there, it gets there. Sure. Yeah, I forget who Mafia Penguins is. Like, obviously, guys, I don't know you all I know some of you by your name, not your username. Some of you I only know through your username. Y'all using that no tropic coffee? No, this one's chaga. Is there no tropics in chaga?
I think so. Yeah.
Maybe. I believe there are. It's mushrooms, so there's definitely like adaptogens and all that good stuff. Rodrigo's in too. Let's go. Amazing. Rodrigo, I know we're isolating you here. Do you still have the same address? We have something. Or shoot me a message on school. Or text me. Wavy, my dude. Hey, Mike, what about the buy zones for MES? I'm not really looking to buy anything with MES or MNQ. Since these have been the most bearish, so I'm kind of looking to stay away from that jazz right now. Climbing our way. We're working our way. With the type of price action that we're seeing here and the movement that we're getting, if you want to have, like, for example, right now, this is sitting over a 1R. So do you want to give back a 1R? There is potential that the market may want to rebalance and then continue. So what does that look like for you? Here, in my opinion, I feel like I'm going to tighten up again a little more. Here we had a nice little wick before a continuation. So I'm going to go right there. I think it's like 3-point loss in the worst case scenario here. Gold alert. Hello. Gold. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Sick. So this could be definitely giving a play. I missed out on oil, man. I swear it's always like I'll look at oil and then I won't get to gold. Gold will play out. I won't look at oil and I'll look at gold. That one will play out. So I'd just be the ones closest to you. Am I okay? I'm great. Are you good? You good, bro? Oh, we can't have fun on the streams anymore. So oil, we had the break above after sweeping, and then did you guys take a trade out of here? I feel like I probably wouldn't have been in this trade. I don't know if I would have taken it this high. I would have waited probably a little lower. So, I'm not feeling any type of way on that one. Now, let's see. Was there an entry somewhere else? Not really. Damn, this thing is like a missile. Okay. I do have this oil play here from before. We traded it long enough down here for this oil trade, I think, to still be valid and to take it into some of these highs. So I'm still willing to fuck around and find out with this one. So I'm still with it. Let's see it. Where is this account? Oh, nice. I need like another 400 to pass this guy. Sick. All right, let's throw oil into the mix here. Looking for an exit at Tokyo highs. Possibly a buy setup forming as well. All right, so Dow is up. Anyone already take profit on Dow? Or are you guys still holding? I'm still in. I'm waiting a little longer. Excuse me. This is currently trading towards where we had seen. Jesus. We'd seen a lot of resistance here before. You can always use these levels as your own for profiting. Never a bad idea, per se. We look at... I'm not sure if Dow is going to be this short. I'm probably not going to take it if we end up getting up here. Meanwhile, we're seeing, NQ, S&P real slow. They're like just crawling up. Dow is running. S&P and NQ are most definitely crawling. So where can we see this trade up to? Right now we're seeing that this is like a brick ceiling right now. I don't know if that is even normal, but a ceiling here. And obviously this is struggling to go higher. We already got the drop though, so the next leg up would be taking you towards this area. This will probably align with Dow getting to that key zone as well. So yeah, I'm going to let this thing just continue to push. I think where we can start to run into, I'd say, reversals is once S&P starts to like trade towards all the way up to here and NQ. So I think there's just a lot more room for this to go, a lot more of an imbalance to fill. But, take it step by step. Also, friendly reminder, right? You don't have to trade. You don't have to hold your trades until you hit like a milestone, a target, if you will. Like you want to take your trades to fulfill your technicals first. That's the priority. So if you're on like, I just want to keep holding a little longer so that I can, pass or whatever. Typically, that's what you'll be so close, and then because you're holding on, you're fixated, you're attached, then your grip, if you hold something too long, like you're gonna get tired because you're gripping it. There's no room. You can't receive if you're gripping. You know what I mean? So just some friendly reminders because I know you guys are in this trade. 1 to 3 NYM locked, toilet papered out. TP? TP'd out. 1.5 R from passing. Nice. Let's go, Vaughn. I love it. Have you guys noticed after New York Open, it dries up? Talking about toilet paper still? Or what are we talking about? I know, I'm hilarious. Where is this thing? So I have my exit here. This is where we would have the order block hitting finally. However, S&P and NQ just have more to push. So I'm going to move this if I can get to it in time. Don't lag on me, please. What the? Bruh. As soon as I was trying to do something, TradingView is like, actually, let me break down on you. All right, so I'm going to hold this. This is just basically using the information from the other assets to make a decision. Oh, then it dumps. It's like, are you sure you shouldn't take profit, pal? So, yeah, I mean, obviously at this point, that question, right, is like, is it worth the extra R? Should you just take your money and run with it? I think with the imbalance, like the way in which we've seen this move, the movement downwards, in my opinion, seems like it was solely a liquidation event. And the intention of this is to be a bullish environment still. So this is obviously very fear-inducing for buyers. And the way that we work our way over to here, we've been trading upwards now for the last 25 minutes. So with that kind of context, I feel like we're more on the bullish wavelength than we are anything else right now. All right. NQ still lagging too. That's the wild thing. NQ still like barely pushing. Dow going further. Now we're trading into this imbalance over here. Very nice, very nice. Need 100 more to pass this one. Cool. Hey, what accounts are y'all trading with right now? Who are you guys trading with? What props? I know we got like TopStep, Tradetopia, Lucid. Those are like the popular ones. Some of y'all are with Apex as well. Hitting my trailing at 1 to 4. Nice. Taco Thursday, just different T. NQ testing your patience, hitting at 1R. Did you buy? Yeah, I mean, YM was definitely had just a stronger, way stronger momentum. So buying NQ while it was the strongest bear, typically, like most of the time, doesn't really play out. Lucid, TopStep, Tradetopia. Awesome. Good stuff, guys. Yeah. I found a futures prop that has swing trading. Yep. Swing trading. Oh yeah. It's not big. It's not a big one. It's pretty small. It's cool though. It looks solid. However, they don't have Tradevate yet, so they have like a DX feed or something else. Yeah, if you're interested in swing accounts like that, it looks cool. It looks good. I'm not gonna publicly say it yet because I'm not like backing it. I'm not like sponsoring it or anything, but it's out there. So if you want to know more about that, shoot me a message. I don't have an affiliate with them or anything like that, but I also don't want to be like, these are all businesses that could obviously fail at some point, but typically they don't break early on, they break later. I wanted to wait to buy MYM because of the buy zone, the MNQ NVS we're going to, and now I feel dumb. You shouldn't feel dumb. It's just more information. It's more perspective to gather, and that's it. Like, trust me, you're gonna forget this trade ever happened. Believe me, like this trade next week, you're not even gonna remember it, unless you just keep bringing it up for yourself because you're into your own pain. But that's just a personal choice. All right, cool. Tradify. Would you sell YM after hitting TP? No, I'm not interested in this anymore. No me interesa. So we're kind of like starting to stall out over here. S&P, NQ also chopping up, decent amount of liquidity. It might make another leg down with the imbalance that it has. Like, I'm willing to hold a bit longer here. But when it comes down to stops and trailing, like, I wouldn't give back all of this. So I am going to tighten my stop up here quite a bit. Playing into some structure here. If we're going to see this dump, which is very possible, then I'm curious to see if we're just going to see like NQ play into this imbalance and then make a move. Like right now, like, oh, it dumps in and then just kind of like just absorbs all that and pushes higher. So that's really the only, like, that's kind of the minimum that I'm seeing. So I'm willing to see this pull back a little bit to kind of have that be into effect and then see it push from there. Right now, for example, like all of these sells were happening right after New York Open. So stopping out, like, think about how pissed, like, the people round trip this for sure. Like, money was brought down here, money could have been made, and then all of a sudden now it's like, oh no, right? Like, there's no way it's going to come back. So like all of these are triggerable stops. I feel like this is kind of the next high probability target is just to clear this over here. There's easy stops sitting right there. So here, just going to keep moving that guy. Keep extending the RR. And then, so now this trade is right around a 3R, right under a 3R. S&P starting to push nicely right over here. Let's see, I want this alert here. And Q struggling. Thanks for the session. Yeah, get some sun, man. Go get some sun. Yeah, I'll be live tomorrow for PPI, guys. I put my stop loss at price 49,522 because of the 1 minute we filled in balance. Okay. Yeah, everything is volatile. 4R on YM. Beautiful, guys. Well done. Well done. Well done. So you're seeing more and more consolidation here. And then these are just giving you higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. If you're kind of like, you know what, I'm good with what I have, take your profit, guys. Like, if it makes sense to you, if you feel like going for another, half R, 1R at this point, no longer worth it with how big of a move it's gotten, then take it. You're weighing your risk, you're weighing your reward. So, makes sense. For those of you if you struggle to make decisions, if you're still hesitating, then you probably need to clean up parts of your system. You need to make sure that everything is pretty dialed in and you don't have to second guess yourself so often. That will only happen if you have something very structured, if you're going through your process over and over and over again. So again, guys, you want to have a bulletproof system. You want to build that confidence, and you've been just doing it on your own for a long time and you want to try something different. Again, the link is there. Get some clarity. Join the syndicate. But with that being said, guys, I leave you with a 3 to 4R after taking about a 1R L overall. So enjoy. If there's other things set playing out, I'll be in communications here. But till then, guys, be expecting something from us. There is a link I'm going to share with you. If you're new, if you're really, really, really new, or if you've kind of been stuck in the same place and you feel like you're still new and it's been a long time for you, then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually share something with you guys. So we're going to do a webinar on Saturday. So I'm going to share a link with you all for this to register for it. This is for people who are newer or new to futures, new to prop firms. If you're advanced, experienced, this is not really for you. But check this out. You can register right there. I just dropped the link. Take care, y'all. Have an amazing rest of your Thursday. Keep the vibes up in the school community. We'd love to see you guys in there. We want to celebrate your wins. So drop your wins in there. Drop your past accounts. Drop your payouts. We want to celebrate you guys. All right. Take care, y'all. Peace out.